with time value of money, one of the crucial things you anthropes will have to deal with is valuing a business. One of the problems you have on a problem sheet, the last one has the workings. That's problem 12, I think it is. It has the workings, but it probably won't make too much sense without an explanation. So here we go. We have set up the timeline, 0 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see why we stop at 4. And you'll notice year 3 is called the terminal or horizon year, and we'll soon see why. Remember the valuation model for those of us who are in class, and it's in the notes anyway. The first thing we have to do is identify all the cash flows. This problem gives us only one, and it was the last dividend, which you will see we have put at D0. And we will use that and the growth rates given in the problem 13, 12, 10, and 5 to calculate the other cash flows, which are dividends in this case. We will see the equation there, D1 equal D0 times 1 plus G. That is how we move between D0, the already paid dividend, and D1, 2, 3, 4, those that are yet to be paid. Year 3 is a very special year. The years leading up to year 3, you will see the growth rate is uneven each year, 12, 13 in year 1, 12, and then 10%. Then according to the problem, growth settles down to be 5% after that. Now, how do you identify all cash flows? What is after that? We don't need to know. And as we go by, you will see. So we use the growth rates given, put them into the problem, D1 equal D0 times 1 plus G, as you can see from the examples here. And we calculate D1, D2, D3, and D4. Just like that. Now, with D3, or year 3, that's a very special year because the accelerated or non-constant growth ends at year 3. But constant growth starts at year 3. So two things happen there, which makes it a rather special year. And in an evaluation problem, you will need to identify that year. It's only year 3 in this problem, but it could have been any other year. So we come to the key shot, this equation called the constant growth equation. P0 equal D1 over K minus G. This is a general equation, very general, and we have to tailor it to suit our particular use. The thing to bear in mind is that the constant growth equation only applies where growth is constant. In our particular problem, constant growth starts at year 3. And then we would use the first dividend or the first cash flow after year 3, which happens to be year 4's dividend. And so when we set up this equation, it looks like this. And we calculate P3 using the equation, and we get $92.67. You can do that yourself. So what does P3 represent? This is called the terminal value. And this is the first question they ask you to solve here. Find the terminal value. This is it. So this value we just found, P3, represents the value of all cash flows occurring after year 3. That's it. All cash flows occurring. So we don't need to know when the cash flows stop, whether they stop at year 5 or year 20 or year 115, is all completely irrelevant. As long as it's a constant growth period, it works just fine. So having found P3, we have found the value of all cash flows happening after year 3. And you will notice, if we look back at our first problem, we found all the cash flows occurring before year 3 as separate years. Those 3. So we're going to have to treat each one of these as a separate cash flow. And this one, 9267, as representing everything after year 3. That way, by using the constant growth concept and equation, we have identified all the cash flows. So we have cash flow 1, cash flow 2, cash flow 3, and in the terminal value, all cash flows after year 3. So we have identified all of them. That's the first step in the model. The second step is to discount them appropriately. Now, the question asks us to find the value of the stock, the current price of the share. We use the simple lump sum equation, which you are familiar with. It's in the notes. If you're in class, you would have used it already. So here we have dividend 1, 2, 3. And in this one, which is also a year 3 cash flow, you'll notice n is 3 in both cases. In this one, we have everything after year 3. And so we could have just added these together and discounted them one go using 1.08 to the 3. But we separate them just because we are going through it for the first time. So we discount them all, and we have gotten the discounted values here. So the second step in the model is done. We have identified all the cash flows, step 1. We have discounted them appropriately, step 2. And step 3, we add them up, ping, 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 done. Value of the stock, that's it.